Good morning, guys, from Tiverton in Devon, where today I'm taking a trip I've been looking forward to for months. It's with Berry's Coaches and it's on their Superfast 1 service all the way from here, Tiverton, to London Hammersmith coach station. A journey of approximately 4 hours and 15 minutes or thereabouts. Now, the reason I'm looking forward to it the most, I think, is because apparently, and this was recommended to me, by the way, it's got an onboard catering service, something that I haven't come across yet in the UK. I booked a premier seat, so yeah, it should be great. Come with me, we'll get on board, and I will see you on the coach. Right, so I was so excited about this journey, I'd skipped breakfast at the hotel and headed straight out. First impressions of the bus station in daylight were, well, I guess it was raining and there was a homeless person asleep on the bench, which it's absolutely not something to joke about at all, is it that? Personally, I don't think anyone should be sleeping rough in this country at all, ever. But anyway, I'd stopped in the nearby M&S to grab a bit of breakfast, just in case the onboard host didn't quite have enough of what I wanted. You know, I guess it's better to be prepared, isn't it? There was a National Express coach parked up already, and that was leaving around about the same time as us. But of course you don't get on-board at-seat catering with National Express, do you? So I waited for my luxury liner to arrive, and before long, this turned up. A 5-year-old VDL Futura 2. Nothing like the coaches displayed on their website, unfortunately, but never mind, I thought. Well, at least I'd be able to purchase a coffee or something once I'd settled into my premium seat. Oh yeah, can I show you that?
Wonderful. You want seat number 3, please?
Thank you very much. The driver for this leg was friendly as she checked my ticket and I climbed on board. Their first impressions were, well, what was premium about this seat? The fact that I could see where I was going. So it should have been more appropriately named front seat, because from what I could see, it was just the same as all the others. There was a small table for belongings with cup holders and a pouch underneath. Legroom was just about adequate. There was no USB power, and the seat itself, well, it was short with no headrest. Good recline though, and there was an armrest. We left on time though at 9:45 in the morning. Now I couldn't help thinking I'd have been better off on one of these. I bet they had USB ports and a view. Never mind though, before long the onboard host would be getting the refreshments prepared and the smell of hot coffee would come wafting down the aisle towards me. Mind you, I hadn't seen anybody get on, but then I guess they were already on the coach getting everything ready for all us hungry travellers. The floor of the coach I didn't think was that clean. I wondered how long that crisp bag had been there. The Wi-Fi, well, it seemed to connect, but it was predictably useless. We stopped at Wellington and then Taunton. There was a change of driver and another couple of crew members got on board. This must be the courier here then, just getting on. That was good because, after an hour of travelling and picking up people along the way, the coach was getting pretty full. But at least we could all get some food and drink now, as advertised on their website. I really needed a coffee at this point. One of the additional crew members took their place in the crew seat, and at this point I heard them comment to the driver that it was not the full courier service today, but the best that they could do. It remained to be seen exactly what that entailed. Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget that you can always buy yourself or someone else the gift of a subscription by signing up to my Ko-fi page. I'm always adding stuff about my trips on there with content you won't find anywhere else, and you get to find out where I'm going next and even get involved in the trips themselves. A membership starts from just £1 and all the money raised goes towards funding future trips. And I can assure you I'm not always moaning about coaches all the time. And if you want to give it a go, a link is below or you can scan the QR code here. Cheers in advance. Well, we got to Bridgewater, which was our final stop before London, and I was pleased to find that nobody had sat next to me. This was one positive, I guess. But I hadn't heard any announcements from the driver or otherwise about the route, the stops we were making, safety, anything really. But here we go. One of the guys from Berry's got on the microphone and announced to everybody on the coach that due to the absence of a proper courier, there would be no refreshments available on this journey. This was really disappointing, as the onboard catering is surely the primary reason for taking this service, and it is very much advertised and promoted on the Berries website. Otherwise, you might as well just get the much better quality National Express coach instead. And now the guy who announced this, I'm assuming he was the driver for the return leg, spent most of the journey sat in the crew seat talking to the driver, or in one of the seats next to the sink and tap. Well, here's a thought, Berries. Maybe he could have done some of the catering. Just an idea, like. Anyway, at this point I thought, well, I might as well start eating my food. Well, thank God I'd been to the shop beforehand now. Now we turned off the M5 onto the M4 eastbound. I gazed out of the windscreen with the two massive cracks on it, and started looking forward to our arrival. And non-stop now until London. Well, the rain kept falling and traffic began to get busier as we approached London. And there were notifications on the overhead dot matrix boards of 45-minute delays getting into the capital. So I thought at this point it might be a good time to go and check out the toilet facilities. Okay, so the toilet is located about 2/3 of the way down the coach, down some steps on the right hand side. And I tell you what, it's a bit of a squeeze. There was like hardly any floor space at all. Now I was looking for the switch that operated the tap and accidentally turned the lights off. so I eventually found it, and I did manage to get some water to come out. There was some hand hygiene gel provided because, yeah, guess what? There was no liquid soap in the soap dispenser. There was a bin here, which was certainly not overflowing, but that was probably due to the fact that there were no paper towels either. So, yeah, it was a dry your hands on the toilet paper approach again, unfortunately. All in all, just a bit poor, really. By the time I returned to my seat, we were in heavy traffic. So, yeah, the signs were right. Long delays between junctions 1 to 3 of the M4, where eastbound traffic was effectively being squeezed from 3 lanes down to 2, and then down to 1. Just to rub salt into the wounds, one of the National Express double-decker coaches, the 040 Bristol to London service, pulled up alongside. Now check out the video I made of my experience on this coach, by the way. I'll tell you what, it's worlds apart in terms of comfort, service, well, most things really. But that's the thing, isn't it? The Berries, compared to National Express, are a tiny, tiny company. And it must be really hard to compete on a route that both operators use. The National Express coach that leaves Tiverton 5 minutes earlier, and it takes about an hour longer, but can be a lot cheaper if you book it well in advance. Now, at the time of this recording, such fares could be purchased for £6 with National Express, 4 weeks in advance of your travel date. And in comparison, Berries' standard ticket price is £21, which is what I'd paid today, plus an extra £1 for the premium seat. However, there is some value to be had there because this price does remain the same, right up to the day of departure. So if you do need to travel last minute, then Berries may well be cheaper. And also their return fares are well priced at £25 if you're mad enough to go there and back in a day, and up to £32 for an open return to London. So it's not all bad news. I just think if berries are advertising services and facilities on their website that they fail to deliver, for whatever reason that is, then some kind of compensation or alternative should be provided. Whether that's, for example, a quick refreshment stop, or 20% off your next trip, or some other incentive, just in order to retain people's business, really. Let me know what you think. I guess there's probably something buried in the terms and conditions somewhere about this, so yeah, am I being too harsh? I'm sure you'll let me know if I am. Anyway, we got to Hammersmith bus and coach station around about 25 minutes late, which wasn't too bad, was it? My first time here, actually, and I can't say it's a particularly attractive place to arrive into, but there is good connectivity with the tube here, unlike, for example, London Victoria coach station. And again, there was no announcement, other than we were asked over the microphone if we could all get off as quickly as possible because we were late, and passengers, who were somewhere else in the vicinity I presume, were waiting to get on for the return journey back to Devon. And that was that. I shuffled off onto the pavement, and then I spent about 5 minutes wandering around, waiting for the coach to go back off on its merry way. I must admit, I wasn't feeling particularly upbeat about the last, well, nearly 5 hours as it turned out. But yeah, that's life, isn't it, sometimes, and that's travel. Anyway, before I disappeared into the bowels of Hammersmith shopping centre, to get myself a much needed coffee, I took a minute just to capture my immediate feelings about the journey. Right guys, Hammersmith bus and coach station, London. Yeah, just got off the Berry's Superfast 1 service. 25 minutes late, I think, benefit of the doubt. Yeah, disappointed, to be honest. I would have liked a double-decker, but you can't really guarantee that type of coach, can you? So that's fine. But yeah, there was no courier service. The website states that there's a courier service on board, and the chap I asked is a decent enough guy. Just said, well, he thought the courier just hadn't turned up. It's not good enough, berries, is it that? If that's the case, then maybe you could provide a refreshment stop. Appreciate you've got to get to London, but you know, that's one of those issues that you sometimes find, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your support as always, and join me on another adventure soon. Cheers for now.